And Yoseph Haddad joins me now in studio. Yoseph, thank you for joining me for this discussion.
Thank you.
It's an important day. It's a remarkable day in Israeli history, Independence Day. And, I want to talk about your story and the things you do, but does this day carry any special meaning for you relating to your very unique life story here in Israel?
First of all, of course, we are part of the Israeli society. We're part of the Israeli country. And today we are celebrating also Independence Day. By the way, a lot of Israeli Arabs right now is preparing the barbecue. So, yeah, of course, we're happy to celebrate this day.
It's true that communities here take part in each other's celebrations every year. But as we heard in the report, too, there are comments, pulling on both ways. What is it that may be the objection that you resist the most from within the community?
Mostly, it's all about what happens before 48. And I always say, listen, what happens before 48 happens. Let's look at the future. Let's look about what is our situation right now as an Arab, as an Israeli, and let's look at our society. And for 71 years, we're not going anywhere. Well, maybe we're going backwards, but not forward. So we have to understand that in order for us to go forward, we need to be an integral part of the Israeli society. And that's exactly what we're trying to do now.
And speaking of the future, indeed, and looking to the future, since the IDF service ended, you've been part of an organization trying to change reality here. Tell us more about it.
Well, I'm the CEO of an organization called Together Vouch for Each Other. The main target of this organization is to bring the Arab sector closer to the Israeli society, to the country. We want to treat our main problems, such as violence against women, the violent in general, illegal weapons, education, frustrations, and more for our society. Unfortunately, if we say a little bit about politics, unfortunately, our representative in the Arab parties in the Knesset are not doing so much for our society, and we took it upon us as a social organization to do that. And beside that, we are actually we're going to what we call Hasbara, which we are talking in the United States, in Europe, about Israel, about the real reality of Israel between Jews and Arabs. We say that nothing, of course, not everything is perfect, right? But from what we see on the social media and what we see on the news and what they're telling you out there is not actually the truth. We want to show the people the facts and the real truth about the Israeli society, and that's exactly what we're doing.
When you talk to an international community and you tell them about life here in Israel for Arabs and Jews, of course, many of them don't really know everyday life. What is the most common misconception that they have that they're surprised to hear?
The first one is, do you have the opportunity or the possibility to vote? Are you kidding me? I'm telling you, I had this question a lot of times, even in Harvard and in MIT, which is like, for me, it's like one of the biggest two universities in the world. And getting this kind of question, it shows exactly how there are misleading conceptions about Israel, about the Israeli Arabs. And of course, I answer the questions by telling them Israeli Arabs can be judged. The captain of the national football team, he is a Muslim. We have anchors that can work in Israel, actors, lawyers. So of course we can elect, and we have also member of the Knesset, Arab member of the Knesset in Israel. We are a part of the Israeli society. It could be better, and it could be better if the what we call it, the radical voices of the both sides, we will shut them down, and we will bring the calm and reasonable voice, and we are the majority of this voice, because in the Israeli society, the Arabs and the Jews want to live together, want to be together, and share life together. But the radicals are the one who are setting the tone right now. We will do everything to shut them down.
So obviously, in terms of communicating the message, you speak English beautifully, as we saw in the report. You also speak Hebrew, Arabic, obviously. Do you find in trying to bring the Arab communities in Israel closer into Israeli society, sometimes the Hebrew language in itself is a barrier? Not everyone who grew up in Israel as an Arab is in control of the Hebrew.
I agree with you 100%. That's why I say most of the Arabs learn Hebrew and know how to speak Hebrew. But I always say that for the Jews, they need to learn also Arabic, because when you understand me better and when I understand you better, it's easier to bridge between the gaps, and it's easier to be together. I know this is also the sign of our organization. It's together. I think in the future we would like to make the Hebrew language and the Arabic language between Jews and Arab more common, to learn it in order for us to, understand each other better and better.
That's certainly a goal I can get behind. Yoseph Haddad, shukran. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very
for
much.
this.
Thanks.